Hi, once again, your host Ram is back with you on the daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings. Welcome to everybody. And as far as this Cricket Happening show goes, it's going to be the Bangladesh versus Sri Lanka, the second test match. We saw 14 wickets tumble on the first day itself, with the pitch showing increasing signs of turn. And I can tell you for a fact that the team, in fact, Sri Lanka were the ones who won the toss. I think they did a very smart thing, looking at the way things have been going on in this particular Test match, where they did a smart thing in actually getting the advantage of winning the toss, I would say. And after winning the toss, they were bowled out, but that was besides the point, as the Bangladesh were also struggling at close of play, which I'll be talking about. And I can tell you that batting on the last day wicket on this particular pitch, I don't think this match is going to even last for 5 days, or probably get over in 3 or 4 days. But I can tell you for a fact it is going to be a dreadful wicket, and because the pitch has started turning right from day one, it's very interesting. So I'll be talking about those 14 wickets tumbling on the first day itself, in the first day of the second test match between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh at Mirpur. And also we have a look at some cricket news. But let's head on to the Bangladesh versus Sri Lanka match. It was the second test match. Sorry, it was not at Mirpur, it was Dhaka. I do apologize. And it all started off with Sri Lanka winning the toss and Sri Lanka giving a debut, or blooding their left arm spinner Akila Dhananjaya. And I thought that was a good move, and a bold move at that, looking at the way the wicket has been really behaving. So it all started off with the Sri Lankan openers slowly striding their way into opening the innings. Kushal Mendis and Karunaratne at the crease. And in fact, the Bangladeshi skipper, in fact, if you look at it, the Bangladeshi skipper today started off with two spinners at either end. It was Mahmudullah, actually, the captain, who actually did a bold move. In fact, he gave the new cherry after looking at the wicket, which was pretty dry, as we all know, yesterday, and he immediately gave the red cherry to his spinners. In fact, as you know, Bangladesh have three spinners in there. Mehdi Hassan Miraz is the right arm offie, Abdul Razak is the left arm spinner, Taijul Islam is another left arm spinner, and that's what they precisely did with Mehdi Hassan Miraz and Abdul Razak, who was making a comeback into the Bangladesh team after quite a long gap. He was given the responsibility, and look at what happened. It was Karunaratne who was the first victim when he actually left his comfort zone and tried to hoist Abdul Razak, as Abdul Razak had really tied the batsman up. With the runs were not really coming in, and Karunaratne wanted to produce a stroke, and in the process Karunaratne was stumped by Litan Das behind the wicket of the bowling of Abdul Razak for 3. After that, but it was and then Dhananjay De Silva walked out. Dhananjay De Silva made 19 with 2 fours and 1 6 before Tajul Islam got his wicket, with Sabir Rahman taking a very good catch, and Dhananjay De Silva was gone. The Sri Lankan score read 61 for 2. But at the other end, the runs were coming, and the runs was coming through the blade of Kushal Mendis, who was actually experimented today. He was sent in as an opener, and he did a splendid job, I thought. In fact, we saw that he showed that what a talented player of spin he is. The way he actually negotiated, it was really something, sort of a real for everyone to see. And Kushal Mendis also relied on the sweep shot. As you know, he plays a lot of strokes on the leg side, and he definitely did that. But we saw that he played some delectable sweep shots for boundaries, and he was getting along in a very fine manner, and he was really I would say, judging the ball till the last moment as to their turn. After that, Mahesh Gunatilaka was also a victim of Abdul Razak for 13 with 2 boundaries, so that made it 96 for 3. And at the same 96 score, Chandimal was a goner. That was a big wicket. Clean bowled by Abdul Razak for the very first ball he faced. and that was a big blow because Chandimal happens to be a very good player of spin, and with Chandimal gone, but Kushal Mendis was still there, but it did not take long for Kushal Mendis to be going back to the pavilion as Abdul Razzaq actually tempted Kushal Mendis with the delivery. Kushal Mendis accepted the bait and he was clean bowled for 68 with 10 fours and 1 6, the highest score in this particular test match. After that, they had two new batsmen at the crease. The Sri Lankans were really looking at the score was 109 for 5 at that stage with half the team into the pavilion, and Dikwala probably could have played in a more responsible manner, one thought, because even before getting his eye in, he tried to leave the crease and trying to slam Taijul Islam, only got his timber rearranged and he was gone for 1. I was clean ball with Taijul Islam. That made it 110 for 6. And now Roshan Silva I would say, Roshan Silva was joined in by Pereira at the other end. And this was the pair which actually did a good job. From 110 for 6, Sri Lanka recovered to 162. And I have to talk about this bloke, Roshan Silva. I mean, what he showed is that on such a wicket which was turning from day one, the way Roshan Silva negotiated the deliveries, the way he actually left the ball outside the stumps, outside the off stump especially, to the spinners, and then the way he used his feet to the spinners, and he really grinded his way out, and that was something which was needed. Somebody had to be the glue to this innings, and he was the glue. And what one saw was, one was very impressed with his batting as he got to his third consecutive 50 in Test cricket, and that is he has played only 3 tests, I suppose, and here he is making 56 with 3 fours and 1 6. Well played, Roshan Silva, and I'm sure he's someone who has a good technique as well with the spinners. Kushal Pereira's contribution was 31 with 4 boundaries, being with Taijul Islam, and as I said, it was all the spinners who were totally ruling the roost, and Roshan Silva himself was caught behind by Liton Das, but after contributing a very well made 56, a very impressive 56 at that, as I said, it's his third Test 50 on the trot, so 3 consecutive 50s, and I'm sure he's someone who is really looking. I mean, I'm sure he's someone for the future. 56 with 3 fours and 1 6. Dhananjaya on his debut made 20, and this was the time after, as I said, after the spinners had ruled the roost, Mustafizur Rahman was in action finally, and Mustafizur Rahman cleaned up the tail by getting rid of Akila Dhananjaya on debut for 20 with 2 boundaries. Rangana Herath was out for 2. Rangana Herath was a bit subdued, I would say, and Lakmal was not out on 4. And that was the end of the Sri Lankan innings. The Sri Lankan innings wound up at 2-2-2 double Nelson. 222 all out the Sri Lankans, and look at the bowling. Mehdi Hasan Miraz on a turning wicket was a bit of a big surprise for me. It was Rada Murphy, and he could not capture a single wicket. That came as a big surprise for me. 13 overs for 54, but his other spin brothers, Abdul Razzaq, 16 overs, 263 runs and 4 wickets on his comeback. Taijul Islam also doing a fine job, 25.3 overs, 2 minutes, 83 runs and 4 wickets. And Mustafizur Rahman, as I said, cleaned up the tail. He's the only pace bowler with which Bangladesh have gone into this particular match, and I think that's the right move too, because after seeing the ball really turn in the manner in which it was, also one could also put it down to probably the Sri Lankans were really caught there. But as I said, it was a very good toss to win, and they would be knowing that Bangladesh will have a dreadful time batting on this pitch. So Mustafizur Rahman 11 overs 4 minutes 2 for 17. Now Bangladesh were the ones. Bangladesh were given. Bangladesh were the ones who batted in the first innings, and it was not a good beginning at all. In fact, even before the spinners went, Lakmal this was not a good shot from Tamim Iqbal. It was a sort of a very casual shot from Tamim Iqbal, where he spooned a return catch back into the hands of Lakmal. So Tamim Iqbal was gone. Cotton ball Lakmal for 4 with a solitary boundary, and then Mominul Haq came in. Now this was something, and Mominul Haq, as you know, as you know, on the first test went on to a very unique record where became the first Bangladeshi player to have notched up back-to-back centuries in a single test. But Mominul Haq this time was run out. I mean, that was something which nobody wanted at that time, and their mainstay Mominul Haq was into the pavilion for a duck. So he was run out very sadly, but it was a good piece of fielding, I thought, by De Silva and a Dickwala combination. And then we saw the score was 4 for 2 when Mominul Haq was run out, and then Mushfiqur Rahim was the big wicket. Now, before the spinners even came, Lakmal had struck it big, as in fact Lakmal actually picked up the wicket of Mushfiqur Rahim as well. That was another big wicket where Mushfiqur Rahim's furniture was rearranged by Lakmal. So Mushfiqur Rahim was gone, bowled by Lakmal for 1. That made it 12 for 3, and the Bangladeshis were really struggling. And then they required someone to stand at the crease, and it was Imrul Kais who was doing the thing that like Bangladesh wanted. He had the company of Liton Das, who was looking much more confident, and then Pereira was the one who nipped the wicket when Imrul Kais got an inside edge. In fact, he was wrapped on the pads by a Dilruwan Pereira delivery. 19 of the 3 boundaries was a goner, and that made it 45 for 4. And then finally the night watchman Mathias Mirage walked in. He was not out on 5 at close of play with 1 boundary. Liton Das was not out on 24 with 3 boundaries, 56 for 4. So Sri Lankans, even though they were bowled out for 222, they have done a wonderful job at the end of the day, as the honours were even on the first day between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. 56 for 4, as I said, the ball is turning, but Bangladesh still have batting to come. Mahmudullah is a good player of spin as well, the captain, and so it is going to be a real test for Bangladesh tomorrow on the second day. Lakmal Sen was 3 minutes 2 for 15. I thought one would commend Lakmal for bowling so well. I thought the Bangladeshis probably were a bit more watchful. They were pretty wary that this pitch was taking a lot of turn, and probably being more watchful probably resulted in those dismissals. Pereira was 3 minutes 1 for 25, 3 overs 1 minute none for 4 for Akila Dhananjaya. Rangan had 4 overs for 11 runs. So that was the match situation as far as the first day goes. So in fact the Bangladesh still have 166 runs to actually catch up with Sri Lanka's 222. So that stumps on day 1 of the second test with the honours even, I would say, between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Now it only gives me a look at some cricket news here. As far as cricket news, not much to really talk about, dear fans. De Villiers will be back for the last 3 ODIs for India, and they direly need him. So one would probably look out for a change of fortunes. And De Villiers, as one knows, he makes a big difference. As you know, India have already secured the ODI series 3-0. They can't lose from here now, and they have 3 more ODIs. And De Villiers, we all know that he's a very good player of spin. So probably he would be the one to come and tame the leg spin of the wrist spinners Kuldeep and Chahal, who have been talked of very highly, and even Virat Kohli has gone to the extent of mentioning that Kuldeep Yadav and Chahal are doing a great job, and they could be an X factor at the World Cup. So that really gives the message that Kuldeep and Chahal could definitely be factored in into the World Cup. So I think Ashwin and Jadeja have to really work hard to see to it that they could do something out of the ordinary. We know that Ravichandran Ashwin is going to try some leg spin bowling in the Indian Premier League. Just talking about the Indian Premier League, I am told that another news that comes on my screen here is that in fact the Sri Lankans are going to be floating something on the lines of IPL, a T20 league. As you know, Sri Lanka last year they wanted to do it, but then the plans got shelved. But now once again it seems they are going to be floating a T20 league, which was slated in the year 2018. Well, dear fans, friends and subscribers, it was a real pleasure bringing you this daily cricket show of mine. Thanks for all your support and cooperation, and your host Ram will be seeing you all tomorrow on the next Cricket Happening show. Until then, it's good night.